Hello, this is Narkin from Staying Sane 101, and this is my colleague Huiwin.
Hi.
And we're here to talk about how counselling can help you. So there's lots of people in Singapore at the moment suffering from anxiety, suffering from depression, suffering from trauma and other kind of burnout and mental health challenges with COVID-19, with the economy not doing so well. There's a lot of people out there struggling, and help is at hand is the message that we have for you.
Yeah, and we feel that this is a good time to finally recognize the importance of mental health, especially with all the stigma around counseling. Because when people talk about I'm going for a counseling session, they think that are you crazy? Or wow, you have degraded to the level where you need counseling. That's just not a right way to see it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So this idea that if you're having a mental health problem means you are crazy, that's just not correct. I mean, the better way to think about it, or the way that I like to think about it, is a lot of mental health problems can really be thought of as runaway emotions.
Right.
So it's perfectly normal to feel sad sometimes, but if our sadness compounds and runs away on us and we lose control of it, then we end up in something that's more akin to depression.
Yeah.
Or, it's perfectly normal and natural to worry about things in our life, particularly stressful things or things we can't control. But if that stress gets too much and that emotion runs away, then we're having anxiety and panic attacks. So rather than being crazy, it's just learning to bring these emotions back under control so you can feel a bit better in your life. It's not crazy, it's just a runaway emotion.
A very, very good way to put that way. So to normalize how feeling anxious or feeling sad are perfectly normal. Just that we just need to learn how to manage our emotions so that we don't let those emotions run away.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly normal to feel the full gamut of human emotions. But there's a lot in our culture and there's a lot on social media that say that you should be happy, that you should be successful, that you should be thankful, that you should be grateful, and all these kind of things. And all those emotions are perfectly valid, but there are also other emotions that are valid. Happiness is one emotion, but sadness is equally valid.
Right,
So is anger, so is grief, so is loss. All these kind of things are also, so we can't be happy all the time. We have to be able to manage when we're not happy.
Yeah, I tell my clients all the time, it's to think sometimes when I ask them what do they want to achieve through sessions with me, they say, I just want to be happy again. I said, okay, do you mean happy all the time? She said, I hope so. I want to be happy all the time. Then I said, that's impossible because if you want to be happy all the time, either you're on drugs or you're just somewhere else, the mind is somewhere else. You know what I mean? What makes counseling so different from talking to a parent or a friend? What do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously, talking to a parent or a friend can be helpful, without a doubt. So they're obviously good first ports of call. But there is a real difference between talking to a friend or a parent and talking to a professional. It's not just good to seek help if you're having psychological challenges. It's actually smart. If your bathroom is broken, you call a plumber. If you have a toothache, you call the dentist. And if you're suffering depression or trauma or anxiety, you talk to a therapist or a counsellor. That's the smart thing to do, because what they can do is help you think about your problem differently. What often happens when we talk to our parents or our friends is, although they undoubtedly mean well, they tell us what to do. You should do this, you should do that. And of course, that's not going to help you.
No. So when some of my clients share with me that sometimes when they muster the courage to finally tell the parents or the friend how they feel, and what they often get is, like you said, suggestion what to do, advice, you should do this, you shouldn't do that, you should be like that, you shouldn't be like that. So when they hear all these things, they feel dismissed, they feel invalidated, like their problem is so small and it doesn't matter. So it makes them feel, I'm just being weak then, So when talking to a counselor or a therapist, what they should feel is that we are trying to make them feel okay to have that, make them feel validated, acknowledged, right? So make them, it's human to feel that way.
It's human to feel. And on that point of weakness, and there's certainly a generational difference in attitudes towards counselling. So what I'm really happy to see is that the young generation of adults in Singapore is very open to therapy and counselling and to seeking help when they need a bit of help with their mental health, and which is great. But often when they turn to their parents, they often have clients say, my dad just said, life is tough, suck it up, or man up, son, or something like this, and just a very closed attitude to it. Whereas if you go to a counsellor or a therapist, for sure you're not going to get that response. You're not going to be told you're weak. You're not going to be dismissed, and you're not going to be told that it's not okay to feel what you're feeling, because feelings are feelings.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right? And in sessions, my aim usually is to try to help them to be that person they want to be. So you mentioned this before, like how in sessions when they come to us, their thoughts are usually jumbled up, and our job is to untangle them one by one so that they see. It's like a jungle of hair. I used to make this analogy.
Right.
So we try to one strand straight that way, so they see it clear, more clearly themselves.
That's a good way to look at it, because actually no one is more of an expert in their mind than themselves. So you are the expert in your own mind, and you often know what it is you need to do, but you just don't have clarity around it because you're overwhelmed with emotion.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas what a counsellor can help you do is just ask you questions that will guide you to look at your problems from a different perspective, to help you see what you need to do, rather than telling you what you need to do. So the answer is often within. Yeah.
Yeah, a very good way to put that. Yeah.
So if you are suffering depression, trauma, anxiety, grief, loss, or any of these kinds of things, and it's getting the better of you, don't suffer in silence with it. Give us a call. Feel better. Thank you.
Thank you.